Welcome back to Pensacola Martial Arts. I'm Shane Francis, and today we're going to talk about safe and realistic training. Okay? So, safe and realistic training involves being able to create a scenario for the student that challenges them, allows them to make mistakes, and then learn from those mistakes. So, one of the first things we do is we give you a scenario where it's something very similar to what happens in real life. Sometimes we'll even see a video of something that happened in the news, and we'll actually replicate that. Maybe a person was attacked in an ATM machine with a knife or something, and we'll actually put the student in that situation into a small room with a person that's got a training knife, and then they'll do exactly what the person did in the actual event that's videotaped. And then we let you work your way out of that. At the end of that, you've made some mistakes, you've done some things wrong, some things right. We do something called an after-action review. In the military, you basically at the end of some sort of exercise or training iteration, you get everybody back together and you say, what did we do correctly, what did we do incorrectly, and how do we improve in the future? And then you evaluate your performance and find out what you need to do to get better the next time you do it. So if you're in a school and you know every attack that's coming and they tell you a week ahead it's going to be a punch to the face from the right and you get to react to it, that gives you plenty of time to train for that. The problem is in real life, you don't know what the other person's going to do. Okay? They may decide to punch you, they may decide to throw water on you, they may decide to knock you over something, and you have to be able to respond to that. So if you're not training with the level of adrenaline, uncertainty, and aggression that allows you to feel what it's like to be scared and be afraid and have to react to changes very quickly in a situation, then you're not getting the full training that you deserve. Okay, so if you know the answer to every question on the test, it wasn't a test, it was a review. So when people come out of our test, they always say, I feel like I didn't do anything right, was lost the whole time, I forgot techniques that should have been easy for me. And what happens is when you add adrenaline and you add stress to a person, to any kind of event, you start to lose the easy skills. The skills that are fine skills, you start to lose those. And what you fall back on are what we call rote memorization, or the skills that you know best. So we try to get you to the point where you're a little bit afraid, your adrenaline's up a little bit, and you're prone to make more mistakes. But by doing that, it's kind of like immunizing somebody against the flu or anything else. If you have somebody grab you easy the first day of class when you're a white belt, and then you come back as a purple belt and they grab you a little bit harder, and then at the blue belt they grab you with both hands and shove you a little bit, you start to get used to that. So on the street, if somebody walks up to you and just grabs you by the jacket, you don't panic right then. There's no reason to panic because it's been done so many times, you're just used to it. Okay? So we want to bring you up and make the levels more difficult as you progress in training. So the first day of training, we might say, just get your hands up and try not to get pushed. By 6 months, we may be saying, okay, we expect you to have your hands up as soon as somebody comes at you and to start moving left or right or back or start to avoid the attack. So as your level of training gets higher and your experience gets higher, so do the number of variables that we add to it. So at green belt, brown belt, somewhere like that, we start introducing a second attacker, or we bring in a weapon of some kind and make the training a little bit more difficult, and we give you less notice about what's going to happen. So you may not know the second attacker is going to enter. They may be standing on the side just watching, and you're dealing with the first attacker thinking, hey, I got this figured out. Next thing you know, somebody's coming at you with a club. And you think, wow, that wasn't what I was expecting. Well, that's what happens on the street. You never expect that. Okay? So that brings us to stupid mistakes. There are no stupid mistakes. Okay? Any mistake you make in training, you're likely to make it again. Sometimes you'll go through 5 or 6 belt levels and come back and we throw a new scenario at you and you make a stupid mistake that you're like, I quit doing that when I was on a purple belt 4 ranks ago, 3 ranks ago, and you do it again because you haven't retrained it. So you always want to go back and retrain what you're doing. So the next thing you want to think about is train as you fight, and that's the basic motto of pretty much any school that's worth its salt, is where you want to teach the student to go through the different scenarios that they will face in real life so that they get used to it, and as your adrenaline shoots up, you're used to dealing with that adrenaline and you're used to dealing with different types of aggression. So what that develops is not only the physical side of your martial arts ability, the punching, the kicking, the throws, the takedown, the grappling, and so forth. that teaches you critical thinking skills up here so that you can avoid situations and not get pulled into a shouting match that becomes a pushing match that becomes a fight. Okay? That becomes a deadly force situation where the person pulls a knife or a gun. So, to me, if you can avoid a fight completely before it ever happens, or avoid the person that you can see is going to be a problem, and you don't have to employ any physical techniques, then that's the highest level of martial arts right there, or self-defense, is not having to use any kind of physical force. So then, finally, we talk about safety. How do you do all this without somebody getting hurt? Well, what you do is you have a senior teacher or an experienced teacher that knows the capabilities of the different levels of each of their students and tailors each training iteration to what that student's capabilities are. Sometimes I'll have a student that's in the middle ranks, but they're maybe not as mobile as some of the other students, and they don't move around as quickly, and I will push them to work on their footwork, and I'll have them training in their footwork a couple of weeks out, and then I'll throw an iteration in that requires them to move against 2 or 3 different attackers. And so I'm going to pick apart what you're good at and what you're not, and I'm going to make you better at the things you need to be better at as an instructor. So then finally, when you talk about how do we do this and keep everybody safe, one of the things that we're going to do is we have what's called a safety stop. Every school should have a safety stop or a safety protocol. And what that says is that no matter what your rank is, you can say stop at any point in time and either say something is going on unsafe over there, those people are too close together, they're throwing on top of each other, someone's going to get hurt, and then let the instructor look at that situation and make a correction and then continue the training. Or you can say, hey, look, I'm not comfortable taking that throw. I'm a blue belt, that's a green belt throw, or I'm a blue belt, but I haven't been in class in a couple of months and I haven't done as much throwing as I should, and I'm not comfortable with that. You should be able to say, I'm not comfortable with something, and be able to skip that. Now, as an instructor, I'm going to let you out of it. I'm not going to make you do that, but I'm going to come back after class and I'm going to say, let me show you how to do that throw and take that fall. And we're going to do it slowly a few times. And the next time you come back in class, we'll do it some more. And then when I feel like you look comfortable at it and you're comfortable, then we'll put you back in that training iteration to do that again. So that's important. If you're in a school and they're using a lot of weapons, they're doing a lot of throws, and people are getting hurt and you're getting hurt, it's probably time for you to find another school. So if you enjoyed this video, you like what we had to say, like and subscribe, and then come back for the next video. Now, before you go, I'm going to say this, okay? No matter what you're going through at this point in your life, whether you're being bullied or you're being picked on or something's going on, somebody is going through the same thing or has been through the same thing you're going through. Okay? It may not seem like it because it's awful and you think, how could someone do that? But if you're being bullied or you're being picked on, you've got to say something to somebody. You've got to say something to a parent or a teacher or someone at your church, your synagogue, or your mosque. You got to ask for help. And if you don't get the help the first time you ask, don't give up. Never give up. Keep asking. Sooner or later, somebody is going to help you, because almost everybody's been bullied at some point in their life, including me. Okay, I was bullied when I was younger. I've seen people bullied. I don't like it. And so a lot of people who've been bullied, who hear that you are, will say to you, hey, I know how to take care of this. I'm going to get some help for you. So never give up. Don't do anything drastic. Always ask for help. Keep asking for help. And most important thing is, somewhere down the road, you're going to be the answer for somebody else's bullying. In other words, someone's going to go through what you're going through, and you having been through it successfully, you're going to be able to go back to them and say, hey, look, I was exactly where you were one day, and this is what helped me. And if this doesn't help you, I will help you get out of it. So everybody out there has been bullied, but there's always a way out, and there's always hope for you. Okay? Everybody take care of each other and ask for help when you need it. See you soon.